Galactic predators believed themselves invincible until humans shattered their power, HFY. In the vast emptiness of the cosmos, where empires rise and fall like dying stars, one truth has reigned supreme for millennia. The strong devour the weak. But what if the weakest link in the chain suddenly forged itself into an unbreakable alliance? Imagine a species so unassuming, so devoid of fangs or claws, that they were dismissed as mere fodder, only to unravel the mightiest dominion the galaxy had ever known. This is the story of how the overlooked became the unstoppable. And if you've ever felt the thrill of a narrative that challenges the status quo, know that stories like this thrive when shared far and wide, inspiring others to join the journey and ensure no tale goes unheard. The colossal arena sprawled across 5 miles of crimson-stained dunes, a monument to unyielding dominance. Emperor Vorgath observed from his obsidian throne, his colossal serpentine body coiled in regal poise. His iridescent scales shimmered under the glare of 3 blazing suns, and his piercing crimson eyes scanned the chaos below. Today marked his heir's initiation into the hunt. Today, young Prince Kaldor would affirm his status as a supreme hunter. "Release the quarry," Vorgath bellowed, his voice echoing like thunder across the vast expanse. The massive gates creaked open, disgorging 100 trembling beings, azure-fleshed with 4 limbs, clustering together in primal fear. Vorgath's reptilian form adjusted on the throne, his electromagnetic senses tingling with anticipation. 10 youthful Zenthari nobles plummeted from the arena's towering walls. Each stood 12 feet tall, armed with serrated talons and fangs like sabers. Their ebony scales distinguished them as the emerging elite, moving with lethal elegance that had cemented the Zenthari as overlords of 1,000 star systems. Prince Kaldor spearheaded the pack, his senses attuned to the quarry's dread, tasting their panic in the air, hearing their frantic pulses, inhaling their desperation. This was the essence of Zenthari existence, apex supremacy. The azure beings scattered in vain. Some scaled the sheer walls, others huddled in the arena's core. A few sought refuge behind jagged boulders. It mattered not. Escape was illusion. Kaldor lunged at the nearest cluster, his claws rending fragile tissue effortlessly. Their cries only fueled his frenzy. Across the sands, his peers toyed with their victims, some prolonging the agony, others swift in their mercy. All reveled in the carnage. "Impeccable technique," murmured War Commander Dracon, positioned at the Emperor's side. "The prince exhibits true potential." Vorgath inclined his head. He was forged for this, as all authentic Zenthari are. In the arena, the final azure form crumpled. The young nobles unleashed triumphant howls, reverberating against the walls. The throng of Zenthari onlookers responded in kind. This was their creed. Predators reigned, prey submitted. The galaxy's hierarchy was unequivocal. The mighty governed, the feeble obeyed. The Zenthari dominion had upheld this axiom for 10 millennia. Vorgath reminisced about his own inaugural hunt. Scarcely 8 feet then, yet lethal. The quarry had been emerald-hued hexapods burrowing into the sands. He had excavated them methodically, relishing their terror. That forged his identity, his cosmic role. Now he commanded a realm spanning half the galaxy. Countless worlds knelt to Zenthari prowess. Myriad species functioned as sustenance, workforce, or amusement. It was cosmic law. The potent endured, the frail facilitated. The arena underwent purification. Automated drones cleared the remnants, while healers attended minor wounds on the exuberant youths, not from combat, for the quarry was defenseless, but from their own zeal. "Sire," a communications aide approached, dispatches from the frontier sentinels. "Proceed," Vorgath commanded. Long-range detectors have identified anomalous energy patterns in Quadrant 879, an uncharted system displaying technological signatures. War Commander Dracon advanced. "What manner of activity?" Unidentified, sire. The configurations align with no recognized hunter or quarry societies. The emissions are peculiar. Vorgath's curiosity ignited. Fresh territories promised novel quarry. Novel quarry equaled expanded hunting domains. The Dominion perpetually grew, claiming what it desired. Assemble a reconnaissance armada, he decreed. Ascertain the nature. Affirmative, Emperor. Shall we ready an invasion force concurrently? Not immediately. First, classify them as allies or fodder. If allies, we barter domains. If fodder, he motioned to the still dripping sands, we incorporate them into our preserves. The aides saluted and departed. Prince Kaldor ascended to the throne, smeared in azure vitae, his gaze alight with victory. Grandfather, more pursuits today? Not a presently progeny, but soon perhaps novel quarry to hone your prowess. Kaldor's eyes sparkled. Novel quarry? Their nature? Undetermined, yet irrelevant. Quarry is quarry. All succumb to genuine hunters. Vorgath surveyed his dominion's metropolis. Towering spires pierced the heavens, each a testament to Zenthari might. Vessels ferried commodities and thralls between them from galactic reaches. At the heart loomed the grand ziggurat, adorned with the crania of 1,000,000 quarry beings. This was society. This was harmony. The potent led, the feeble contributed roles immutable. Other hunter races bolstered his regime. The Swarmix, with their collective strategies, directed ground legions. The Shadowin, experts in concealment and toxins, managed espionage. The Echoari, whose vibrational assaults pulverized skeletons, enforced compliance. Each infused unique predatory talents. Each grasped existence's core. Power justifies. The quarry races served aptly too. The Bildari excelled in construction. The Dexteri possessed agile appendages for intricate tasks. The Titanor bore immense loads. All proliferated rapidly, sustaining labor and provisions. An impeccable structure, hunters ascendant, quarry subordinate, all fulfilling innate roles. Sire, War Commander Dracon interjected, the reconnaissance fleet assembles. War Commander Silara will command. Excellent. Instruct her meticulousness. Comprehensive system surveys, demographic projections, tech evaluations, martial assessments, everything. And should they oppose? Vorgath's chuckle rumbled like seismic quakes. Quarry invariably resists initially. That's the hunt's allure. As the trio of suns dipped over the capital, Vorgath lingered on his throne, pondering the enigmatic signals from the periphery. In 10 millennia of expansion, the Dominion had met hundreds of races. Some fellow hunters integrated or subdued. Most quarry adapted swiftly. None posed genuine peril. The cosmos was immense, yet adhered to basics. The robust vanquished the frail. Hunters pursued quarry. Equilibrium preserved. Tomorrow his vanguard would probe these signals. Soon he'd discern new confederates or victims. Either fortified the Dominion. The sovereign of 1,000 spheres reclined, envisioning forthcoming pursuits. He savored imagined whales from that remote system, their dread palpable as they confronted inevitability. Quarry was quarry. Hunters like him had dominated since antiquity. Nothing would alter that verity. War Commander Silara commanded her flagship's bridge as it emerged from warp. The enigmatic system unfolded on the primary viewer. A golden star, orbited by planets. The third orb gleamed azure and verdant, teeming with seas and land masses. Sensor analysis, she ordered. Intense biotic activity on the third world, her scanner tech reported. Millions of variants. The prevailing form clusters in vast habitats across the terrain. Silara scrutinized the data. The signals originated here. Inhabitants possessed tech, yet patterns diverged from Dominion archives. Display the prevailing race. The screen shimmered, revealing long-range captures. Silara gaped in bewilderment. The entities were diminutive, perhaps 6 feet maximum. Tender rose or tan hides, absent scales, talons, or innate armaments. Their dentition minuscule, eyes forward-oriented like hunters, yet fangless. Confirm these dominate? She queried. Affirmative, Commander. They command most surfaces, erecting colossal metropolises with rudimentary voidcraft. Solara shook her head. They resembled quarry, yet quarry didn't forge cities or innovate. Absurd. Only hunters possessed requisite intellect and ambition for progress. Perhaps chattel for the authentic overlords, posited her research officer, as we maintain the Bildari. Then where the overlords? Solara demanded. No traces of alternate sapience here. The crew traded perplexed glances. In 10 millennia, nothing akin. Races were hunter or quarry. No ambiguity. Commander, the comms officer announced, planetary emissions incoming. Diverse tongues, but decoders progressing. Their content. Largely amusement relays, some tactical chatter. They've spotted our armada. Solara registered astonishment. Their vessels boasted premier cloaking. Quarry never detected Zenthari fleets pre-assault. Perhaps superior detectors, she pondered. Irrelevant. Initiate standard quarry protocol. Dispatch showcase fleet to primary hubs. 3 hours hence, Zenthari cruisers materialized over metropolises dubbed Nova York, Lundar, Takara, and others. Mile-long behemoths, weapon-studded, hulls agleam, crafted to instill dread, and unfailingly so. Solara monitored surface feeds, anticipating pandemonium, capitulations, disarmaments, standard quarry response. Instead, impossibility. The beings, humans, per intercepts, resisted. Forces mobilized. Aerial fighters launched globally. Naval units assumed defenses. Commander, her armaments officer alerted, multiple terrestrial armaments lock on. Preposterous, Solara retorted, their quarry, lacking valor to... Explosions interrupted as projectiles impacted her showcase. Humans synchronized strikes, timing to assail multiple vessels concurrently. 2 Zenthari annihilators sustained grievous harm. 1 plummeted into seas near the isle called Nippon. Retaliate, Solara commanded. Demonstrate quarry defiance's cost. Zenthari batteries unleashed plasma volleys on human bastions. Structures vaporized in infernos, yet humans persisted, undaunted. More projectiles surged. Fighters buzzed like vexed vermin. Solara observed in escalating confusion as anomaly unfolded. Humans employed unified maneuvers, each element bolstering others. Hunter pack tactics exclusively. Commander, her research officer exclaimed, humans felled another vessel. What? Solara whirled. The cruiser Talon of Zor, shields jammed via electronic sabotage, then synchronized barrages. Unthinkable. In 10 millennia, no quarry downed a Zenthari warcraft. Quarry lacked acumen, bravery, synergy for such feats. All units retreat to perimeter, she ordered. Reflection required. The fleet withdrew to system fringes. Solara pored over displays, grappling with witnessed paradox. Humans battled as hunters, yet resembled quarry. Advanced strategies, no innate arms. Seize specimens, Solara resolved. Comprehend this enigma. The following dawn, Zenthari's stealth craft descended on remote human enclaves, expecting effortless captures. Terrified quarry, yielding without struggle. Instead, they met humans who fought like cornered beasts. Outnumbered and outgunned, these beings refused to flee. They formed defensive lines, synchronized their attacks, and protected one another with ferocity. Most unsettling, they displayed pack loyalty, risking their lives for strangers. This was hunter behavior, not quarry. The Zenthari secured a dozen human fighters, but at a cost unprecedented for a quarry raid. 3 warriors dead, 8 wounded. The captives were brought to Solara's flagship, confined in energy cages. She studied them through the translucent barriers. Physically, they were undeniably quarry-like. Soft flesh, blunt teeth, no talons or armor. Yet their gazes held no submission. Adrenaline pulsed, hearts raced, but their eyes scanned for weaknesses, plotting escape. Solara activated the translator. "What are you?" she demanded. A human male with cropped black hair stepped forward. We're humans, and you've just ignited a war you can't win. Your quarry, Solara insisted. Your biology screams prey, yet you fight like hunters. Explain. The human grinned, teeth small but defiant. Maybe your galaxy's rules are outdated. Maybe there's a category you've never seen. A chill slithered down Solara's spine. The Zenthari Dominion recognized only two types: hunters who ruled, quarry who served. A third option was heresy. You'll serve the Dominion, she declared. Your world will become our hunting ground. Your kind will learn its place. The human laughed. You don't get it, do you? We don't serve. We don't bow. We're humans, and you're about to learn what that means. Solara left the captives and strode to her command hub. She needed to report to Emperor Vorgath, but words eluded her. How to describe quarry that fought like hunters? Creatures with no natural weapons, yet unshakable loyalty. Open a channel to Apex Core, she ordered. Vorgath's image materialized, his crimson eyes narrowing. Your Majesty, Solara began. We've met the unknown species. Hunters or quarry? Vorgath's voice was a low growl. I cannot say, Majesty. They resemble quarry, but fight like hunters. They've destroyed several of our ships. Quarry destroyed Zenthari warships? Vorgath's scales bristled. Yes, Majesty. They coordinate like a pack, showing loyalty unheard of in prey. They're broken, neither fully hunter nor quarry. Silence stretched. Then Vorgath's voice turned icy. Broken things are the most dangerous. Gather more data, War Commander. I must know our foe. The transmission cut off, leaving Solara with her unease. Below, in the holding cells, the humans were already scheming their escape. On Apex Core, Vorgath convened his war council in the Grand Hall. A holographic orb of the human world spun at the chamber's center. His finest commanders, representing every major hunter race, surrounded the table. These humans have obliterated 7 of our ships, Vorgath announced. They fight as hunters, but look like quarry. I demand answers. War Commander Dracon activated his display. Analysis suggests a malformed species, Majesty. Their biology points to quarry evolution, but their mindset is hunter-like. Perhaps an evolutionary fluke. Flukes don't destroy Zenthari vessels, snarled War Commander Vix of the Shadowin, her voice venomous. Perhaps another hunter race engineered them as weapons. No evidence of other sapience in their system, Dracon countered. They evolved alone. Vorgath studied the rotating planet. Then we treat them as a hunter threat. Mobilize a conquest armada. 500 ships. Resolve this enigma and crush it. The council dispersed to prepare the largest campaign in decades. Meanwhile, aboard Solara's flagship, Dr. Lysara, a Zenthari biologist, uncovered revelations that shook her core. Examining human tissue under advanced scopes, she found contradictions. Their bodies bore all quarry traits: fragile skin, no natural defenses. Yet their neural architecture defied logic. Regions governing pack coordination were hypertrophied, fear responses diminished, and protective instincts vast. They're neither hunters nor quarry, she muttered. They're something else. Comparative scans revealed more. Hunter brains prioritized individual survival, aggression, dominance. Quarry brains emphasized flight, fear. Human brains balanced group coordination, long-term strategy, and shockingly, empathy for other species. Impossible, Lysara whispered, yet the evidence glared back. On the human world, unity forged in crisis. The alien assault unified nations, a feat diplomacy never achieved. Scientists dissected captured Zenthari tech in hidden bunkers. Factories churned out warships, not consumer goods. Soldiers trained for interstellar combat. President Aria Vex of the United Terran Alliance addressed humanity from her fortified command. We're not alone, and our neighbors see us as prey to be hunted. They've miscalculated. Intercepted Zenthari transmissions revealed their arena rituals, their enslaved billions. They expect submission, Aria continued. They'll find defiance. Her daughter, Colonel Lena Vex, led Lunar Command. Earth's moon, now a colossal fortress. Intelligence from captives painted a grim picture. They're sending 500 ships, General Kors reported, their main armada. Good, Lena replied, her eyes steely. Let them come. Kors blinked. Lena, we barely survived their probe. This is their full might. The probe taught us their weakness, Lena said. They expected prey. We're not. They fight for glory. Each ship, independent. We fight as one organism. 3 weeks later, the Zenthari Armada arrived. Vorgath commanded from his dreadnought, expecting a routine subjugation. Instead, he faced a fortified solar system. The asteroid belt bristled with gun platforms. Jupiter's moons housed shipyards spewing human vessels. Mars was a military bastion. Most alarming, thousands of human ships awaited, dwarfed by Zenthari craft, but moving in eerie unison. Majesty, a sensor tech reported, their fleet moves as one mind. Course changes are instantaneous, synchronized. Vorgath studied the display. The human ships wove like a flock, thousands acting as a single entity, hunter pack behavior perfected. Attack formation, he ordered. The Zenthari spread out, each ship hunting solo targets, but the humans danced, spiraling in three-dimensional patterns, staying beyond optimal range while launching precise missile volleys. When Zenthari ships pursued, they flew into ambushes, caught in crossfires. They're exploiting our instincts, Vorgath realized, horror dawning. Each chase exposes us. The Battle of Luna raged 6 hours. Half the Zenthari fleet lay in ruins. Human losses were heavy, but their victory was decisive. Vorgath retreated, reeling. Never had the Dominion suffered such a rout. How had Quarry humbled the galaxy's mightiest fleet? Oh. In her lab, Dr. Lysera grasped the truth. Studying captured humans, she told Solara, they're persistence hunters. Unlike most predators who ambush or sprint, humans exhaust their quarry over vast distances, coordinating as a pack. Worse, they extend loyalty to other species. Solara frowned. Another hunter type? No, Lysara urged. Their pack instinct includes aliens. They died protecting ships from worlds we've passed through. They could turn our quarry against us. Solara paled. Or rally the galaxy into their pack. On Earth, President Arya addressed the world. Images of enslaved species, hunting rituals, and galactic suffering filled screens. We can fortify Earth or fight for all, she said. Humans don't abandon the helpless. We fight for everyone. The vote was unanimous. Humanity's mission was clear. Not just defense, but liberation. The war for the galaxy had begun, and the Zenthari Dominion faced an awakening unlike any in history. The first spark flared on the planet Nexus 4, a world long subjugated by the Zenthari. 3 months after the Battle of Luna, War Commander Thrime was overseeing the ritual culling when the unthinkable occurred. The quarry fought back. The Constructi, a docile, four-limbed species with cerulean skin, had built the Dominion's grandest monuments for centuries. They bred prolifically, serving as both labor and sustenance, never showing defiance. But that morning, as the culling commenced, they formed defensive clusters and refused to comply. What treachery is this? Thrime roared at the Constructi overseer. Select the tribute, or we choose for you. The Constructi leader raised its limbs defiantly. No more tributes, no more hunts. We've learned quarry can become hunters. Before Thrime could react, alarms blared across the compound. Human ships materialized in orbit, broadcasting a message that shook the foundations of Nexus 4. People of Nexus 4, came Colonel Lena Vex's voice, this is the Terran Liberation Fleet. Your enslavement ends today. Thrime watched, stunned, as human soldiers descended, not targeting Zenthari outposts, but freeing constructed captives. They fortified civilian zones, arming creatures who had been quarry for generations. The liberation took 3 days. When it ended, every Zenthari on Nexus 4 was dead, and the Constructi stood free. What unnerved the Dominion most was the humans' method. Soldiers died, shielding alien civilians they'd never met. Pilots crashed into Zenthari defenses to protect the Constructi, fighting with hive-like coordination and selfless devotion. Emperor Vorgath pored over battle reports in his Apex Core throne room, struggling to comprehend. "They treat every being as their pack," he said to War Commander Draken. "How?" Dr. Lysara's hologram flickered to life. "It's their evolution, Majesty. Humans developed empathy as survival, extending it to all sapient life, not just their own." "That should weaken them," Vorgath growled. "Caring for quarry is a hunter's flaw." "Normally, yes," Dracon replied, "but humans make it their strength. They fight harder for others than for themselves. Every liberated species joins their unified force." Reports flooded in. Rebellion on Glimmer 9, where winged Sonari halted mining operations. Uprising on Swarmhold, where insectoid Nimblex overwhelmed guards with human-taught tactics. Liberation fleets freeing a dozen worlds simultaneously. Most alarming was Dr. Lysara's discovery. "Majesty," she said, "humans aren't just freeing quarry, they're teaching them." "Teaching what?" Vorgath demanded. "To mimic humans?" "No," Lysara said, displaying footage of humans on Nexus 4, aiding injured Constructi, sharing resources, teaching literacy. They teach Terran rights, freedom, dignity, protection for all sapients. They extend these rights to every species they meet, making quarry think like humans, value freedom, and fight back. Vorgath's scales rattled. Humans weren't conquering. They were reshaping the galaxy's psyche, turning quarry into allies. "How many worlds?" he asked. 52 as of dawn, Dracon reported. "Rebellions spread faster than their fleets. Species we've never contacted rise up, inspired by their broadcasts." Vorgath gazed out over Apex Core's spires, where citizens lived oblivious to their crumbling empire. "Triple the guard on breeding worlds," he ordered. "Recruit from the fringes. If humans want a galactic war, they'll have it." Yet he knew conventional tactics would fail. Humans didn't seek dominance. They sought to erase it. On Dawn's Haven, a former Zenthari hunting reserve, Colonel Lena Vex addressed a diverse assembly of freed species, Constructi builders, Nimblex crafters, Sonari scouts. "Freedom feels impossible after centuries of chains," she said via translator. "But you were never truly quarry. You were always beings with rights." A frail Constructi raised a limb. "We're weak, without talons or strength. How do we fight hunters?" Lena smiled. "Not with claws, but with unity. Together, you're stronger than any lone predator. They kept you divided because they feared your collective power." Over weeks, the liberated worlds transformed. Constructi engineers designed fortifications, Nimblex crafted advanced comms, Sonari scouted Zenthari positions. They saw themselves as a community, not just their own kind, but all sapients. Even predator races wavered. Young Shadowin assassins refused to hunt sentience. Swarmix warriors deserted rather than cull. Some Zenthari questioned their empire's foundation. Dr. Lysara, obsessed with humans, reported to Dracon. "They're not replacing us as apex hunters. They're dismantling the concept of apex hunters. They envision a galaxy without domination." "No, that's unnatural," Dracon scoffed. "The strong always rule." "Is it?" Lysara countered. 52 worlds, hundreds of species united, entire sectors in revolt. All through cooperation, not strength. Humans don't divide us from them. They see suffering and ask, "How do we fix it?" Their pack loyalty embraces all sapients. The implications were catastrophic. If humans could teach this mindset, the Dominion's hierarchy would collapse. On Earth, President Aria Vex rallied humanity. "We've seen the galaxy's pain, enslaved billions hunting rituals. We can hide or fight, not just for us, but for all." Humanity's resolve solidified. Liberate everyone. The war escalated as rebellions spread. On Vexar 3, liberated Nimblex taught Sonari human tactics, toppling Zenthari outposts. On Starvale, Former quarry races built cooperative societies, defying millennia of oppression. The Terran Liberation Fleet grew, incorporating ships from freed worlds, each species contributing unique strengths. Vorgath's council grew desperate. "They're converting our quarry," Draken warned. "Our own predators defect. We face not just defeat, but dissolution." In her lab, Lysara watched human prisoners. Their defiance wasn't born of claws, but of belief in universal rights. "They're not conquering," she whispered. "They're transforming us." On Apex Core, Vorgath faced mounting defections. Predator nobles refused to fight. Quarry districts rioted. He issued a final challenge: personal combat with the human leader. "If they want our empire, let them face me." The Terran fleet accepted. Colonel Lena Vex arrived alone in the throne room, a 6-foot human in simple military garb, facing Vorgath's 12-foot bulk. Zenthari nobles watched, expecting their emperor to shred this quarry. Lena's eyes held no fear, only resolve. "You wish to meet," she said. "Here I stand." "I must understand," Vorgath growled, rising. "You've shattered a 10,000-year empire. How?" "You shattered yourselves," Lena replied. "You built on a lie. Might makes right. You gave your quarry minds to think, then denied them purpose. We showed them their strength." Vorgath activated the arena, the floor shifting into a combat circle. "Single combat," he declared. "If you win, we surrender. If I win, your fleet leaves forever." "Agreed," Lena said, calm as stone. The duel began. Vorgath charged, claws slashing. Lena dodged, firing her sidearm. The bolt grazed his scales, ineffective but distracting. He lunged again. She evaded, tossing a device that erupted in blinding light, scrambling his senses. As he faltered, Lena scaled his back, planting a neural disruptor at his skull's base. He collapsed, paralyzed but aware. "Non-lethal," she explained. "We designed it for your kind. You fight for dominance, we fight for survival. You fight alone, we fight as one." The nobles stirred, witnessing their emperor felled by strategy, not strength. Lena stood over him. "You fight for pleasure, we fight to protect. That's why you lost." Vorgath, immobile, saw the truth. Humans weren't hunters seeking to rule. They hunted oppression itself, forging a new galactic order. As the neural disruptor's effects faded, he lay on the arena floor, the weight of his empire's collapse pressing harder than his physical paralysis. The Zenthari nobles, once eager for blood, stood silent, their belief in the natural order, hunters over quarry, shattered by a 6-foot human-wielding strategy over strength. Colonel Lena Vex stood over him, her sidearm holstered, her gaze steady. "What happens now is your choice," she said. "Cling to the old ways and watch your civilization crumble, or help us build something better." Vorgath's crimson eyes met hers. "And what is better?" His voice was a low rumble, laced with both defiance and curiosity. Lena activated a holographic projector, displaying vibrant images from liberated worlds. Constructi engineers collaborated with Nimblex technicians, building gleaming cities. Sonari scouts shared knowledge with human pilots, exploring uncharted stars. Former quarry and hunter species crafted art, music, and literature together. "This is the Terran Accord," Lena explained. "A galaxy where every sapient has a voice, where rights are universal, where strength protects, not exploits. No one, individual, species, or empire, decides another's worth." Vorgath stared at the hologram. It was anarchy to his millennia-old creed. Predators rule, prey serve. Yet the images showed harmony, not chaos. Species united, not subjugated. "This is madness," he whispered. "Perhaps," Lena conceded, "but it's the madness that turns slaves into citizens, quarry into equals, enemies into allies. Humans learned long ago that a pack thrives when every member matters, even former foes." She knelt beside him, her voice soft but resolute. "You ruled through fear because you never faced a species more afraid for others than itself. We protect our pack, every sapient, everywhere. Join us, and your strength can protect too. The throne room's silence was deafening. Reports flooded in across the Dominion's networks. Zenthari fleets surrendering, predator nobles seeking amnesty to aid quarry liberation, entire worlds pledging to the Terran Accord. The galaxy was shifting, not through conquest, but conversion. Vorgath rose, his massive form no longer menacing, but contemplative. "You trust those who sought your destruction yesterday?" he asked. "We believe everyone can change," Lena replied. "Everyone can choose better." Hours later, Apex Core's skies buzzed with activity. Not war, but transition. Zenthari officials, guided by Lena and human diplomats, drafted terms for integration into the Accord. Across the planet, quarry districts erupted in celebration, no longer pens, but communities. Predator deserters joined, offering their skills to rebuild, not destroy. Vorgath stood on his palace balcony, overlooking Apex Core for the last time as its emperor. Tomorrow, he would be a citizen of a new galactic community. The thought unnerved him, yet sparked an unfamiliar sensation, hope for what lay beyond dominance. Below, Lena moved among former enemies, treating them as partners, her respect unwavering whether for human or Zenthari. "Oh, how do you do it?" Vorgath asked, his voice quieter than ever. "How do you see allies in those who were your hunters?" Lena smiled. "We've always believed in second chances. Redemption strengthens us all." The Terran Accord spread like a supernova. On Nexus 4, constructed children learned to read alongside human mentors. On Glimmer 9, Sonari crafted ships with Nimblex, their former overseers, now equals. Even Shadowin assassins, once feared, taught stealth to protect, not kill. The galaxy's foundation shifted from might to mutual respect. Dr. Lisara, still aboard her mobile lab, documented the transformation. Her obsession with humans had evolved into awe. "They're not just winning a war," she told War Commander Dracone. "They're redefining existence. They don't seek to rule, they seek to liberate. Their empathy is their weapon, and it's unstoppable." Dracon, once skeptical, nodded. "Their pack includes us all. The Dominion can't fight that." Across liberated worlds, species, once divided by the hunter-quarry dichotomy, united. Constructi built schools, Nimblex engineered communication networks, Sonari scouted peaceful frontiers. Even Zenthari warriors trained for slaughter found purpose in protecting new societies. The Accord's principles, freedom, dignity, cooperation, replaced the old order's cruelty. On Earth, President Aria Vex addressed the United Terran Alliance. "We've shown the galaxy that strength lies not in domination, but in unity. Every species we free strengthens us. Every ally we gain proves our cause." Her words, broadcast galaxy-wide, reached billions, inspiring uprisings on worlds humans had yet to touch. Vorgath, no longer emperor, but a delegate, joined Lena on Dawn's Haven for the Accord's first Galactic Assembly. Representatives from hundreds of species gathered, former quarry, reformed hunters, humans, all equal. Lena spoke to the assembly, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's resolve. "We fought not to replace one empire with another, but to end empires altogether. Together, we build a galaxy where no one is prey, where every life has value." A Sonari delegate, wings folded, raised a question. "How do we sustain this? Old instincts linger." "By choosing every day," Lena answered. "Choose to protect, to share, to grow together. Humans learned this through struggle. You will too." Vorgath, seated among the delegates, felt the weight of his past. His empire had thrived on fear, but fear had failed. The Accord offered purpose beyond conquest. He rose, his voice resonating. "I was a hunter, taught to see weakness as prey. Humans showed me strength in unity. I choose this new path." The assembly erupted in approval, a chorus of voices from countless worlds. The Terran Accord wasn't just a pact, it was a new paradigm. Species, once bred for submission, now governed themselves. Hunters once obsessed with dominance now guarded the vulnerable. The galaxy, once ruled by claws and fangs, pulsed with collaboration. Back on Earth, factories that once built weapons now produced exploration vessels. Scientists studied Zenthari tech to advance medicine, not war. Children of all species played together in schools built on former battlegrounds. The galaxy wasn't perfect. Old grudges lingered, instincts clashed, but the Accord's framework held. Disputes were settled through dialogue, not bloodshed. Dr. Lissara's final report to the Accord's Council was simple. Humans succeeded, not because they were stronger, but because they believed in more than strength. Their empathy, their refusal to divide us from them, has remade us all. Years later, Lena stood on Apex Core, now a hub of interstellar cooperation. She looked at the stars, no longer battlegrounds, but frontiers of possibility. Vorgath approached, his scales dulled by age, but his eyes bright with purpose. "You changed everything," he said. "How did you know it would work?" "We didn't," Lena admitted, "but we believed it could. And belief, backed by action, changes worlds." The galaxy thrived under the Accord, not as a hierarchy, but as a community. Every species, from the smallest Nimblex to the mightiest Zenthari, had a voice. The age of predators and prey was over. In its place rose a new era, where strength was measured not by who could dominate, but by who could uplift. And as the stars shone brighter, the story of humanity's defiance echoed, a beacon for all who sought a better way.